Okay, let's see.
All right, so you did say we're going to be playing minor draft. I'll try to record upload this on a second channel. So we have
Yes.
minor draft essentially is 3 texts that they pick from, correct?
It's called mirror draft
Mirror draft.
because mirror in the sense that they all have the same choice to pick from.
So 3 choices. It could be like Scorpion. It could be. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes, and that is
Nice.
what we see now. They can choose, and you can quickly see what everybody researches. Chris went glyph, Silver went glyph, Boy went glyph, and guess what? Dubs went glyph. And that is for the very simple reason that glyph is by far the strongest choice here. So initially, they wanted to spice it up with the with the choice, but it happened the exact reverse, because when you get one of the most meta techs to choose from, well, then it's just about who plays this tech the best. By the
Which
way,
makes sense.
do you still have those icons?
How do I remove
They
them?
don't go away, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can't.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Oh, now it works. Now it works. Now it went
It was
away.
for
Very
you too, or?
Yes.
Okay.
It stayed, but I think that was just for choice by the map maker to keep it on a little longer for the observers. Okay, now let's get into it.
Let's not say anything bad about LOL Report. Is a phenomenal freaking map
Oh,
developer.
definitely.
100%.
Oh, absolute freak.
Yeah, he's really good. I think he's one of my favorites for sure when it comes to map developer.
Very cool. He also makes an effort to really make some significant gameplay changes every season, just to spice it up a little. I think it's an interesting philosophy.
That's the right thing to do, I think. All right, so we got everyone's just min-maxing as much as possible, building as least towers as possible.
Yes, that's right. In the 1v1 before, we saw the opposite, because 1v1 is very different rules, because there the aggression is rewarded more. Because the problem in being aggressive in FFA is you might get the guy down that you're sending into, but whoever is sending into you does not feel this. If anything, he gets rewarded from it, because he himself is under less pressure. So you see more income spamming in FFA than in 1v1. And Silverthorn is a very strong 1v1 player, which is of course why he took it home against Term before sudden death.
By the way, I see, so it goes against a little bit of principles of Line Tower Wars, where he's not placing down cutters instead of he's placing owls down to take down skeletons. Is that new, or why is that the case? Because usually cutters eliminate skeletons
I would say it is a stylistic choice. So I also like to be like a high owl player. And who are you referring to in particular? You mean Chris?
Yeah, Chris, yeah.
Yeah. So the owls are really good against the acolytes, for example, just damage-wise, because they do magic damage, and the acolytes have heavy armor. So Chris's idea, yes. So Chris's idea is I overbuild a little bit on holding the skeletons, but I will hold the what comes after it much more easier. Also, the owls are arguably better against the spiders, but only if you micro them. Because the spiders have the skittering trait, they are always focused last. So this is one of the first dangerous sends. You can see they all build one basic plague tower already, which is so strong, because it has some AoE damage, and that is what you need to hold the spiders. Before them you can hold with just the basic towers. Once you see spiders you need that plague well.
So you did say before we continue, you said so rank 1 is Wui, we got rank 2 is Dubs.
It actually switched around just today. So Dubs is rank 1 now, and Wui rank 2. They're very close to each other.
Okay, and then we got Chris is
5, and Silver is 4.
Oh my god, this is talk about a titan of a matchup. This is incredible.
Oh yeah, it is stacked.
So this is basically the best game the viewers will ever watch of Flying Tower Wars, basically.
Of Flying Tower Wars? Of the current season? Yes, I would agree. Now there are some, titans that are not so active in this season. For example, Coffee Ninja or Milo or the all-time GOAT Pokemon. But of what you can get from this season at this stage, yes, these are the best players.
That's incredible.
And also, there's a bit of a gap, I would say, between Dubs and Wui. They are both like 200 points ahead of the next ranks 3, 4, and 5, which is Silver and Chris.
So they're significantly better, at least when it comes to like highest level of play.
Altogether, yes,
quite a
I
big
think
gap.
it's yes. Altogether, I think it's fair to say that. But really, each of them can win it here. It comes down to details, right? And of how these details stack up, how you can leverage a tiny advantage, and so on.
So for the players, they don't know who they're sending to. This is all invisible.
That's right.
We're able
That's
to
right.
see it, but for them, it's complete
don't
fog
know.
of war, right?
Yes. Now, what you can do is you can find out who you're sending into, for example, by the way how they build their maze. For example, I believe, let's see, it depends on either do they start on the middle or do they start in the back, for example. You can differentiate it by that. But these here, I think, all started in the middle, with Dubs maybe starting in the back and already changing it, but I think he also started middle. And then each of them has like stylistic preferences. So if you watch the maze, what only thing they see is the maze of who they're sending into at the moment when the creeps run through. So if you watch that maze really closely, you might be able to identify them. Also, as the game goes on, you get sort of a feeling. You know, these guys have played each other so much that they know also like the sending preferences of each of them. So they get to feel it out eventually. Oh, that's likely this guy, that's likely that guy.
People know that Wui is an aggressive sender. They know how they're building. Like this maze is very characteristic of just how Wui plays.
Voi is not an aggressive sender. Voi, in my book, is the biggest income spammer, but he's an extremely strong income spammer. Like his income spam is better than the others in the sense that it can still hurt you, even when he's not saving up extra gold. He still hurts you with the regular send, and with Woi, you have to watch out for one thing. I think both Wang and Woi are the most notorious for doing this, which is they will keep you comfortable for 98% of the time. They will make it super silly, super easy for you, especially when they know you are very good. They will make it super easy for you up until they absolutely don't. And then it is like the complete judo sweep opposite, and you will like get thrown out of your rhythm. And then you cannot defend it anymore. This is what they're very good at.
Oh my god, it's so true. I remember him doing this, where it's like, okay, he spam sends and then increases his income as best as he can, just being as income efficient as possible, and then saves up a little bit, right, and then goes for like a big Banshee wave or a big Spirit
That's exactly
Walker.
right.
That's Wui for sure. Yeah, I feel what you're saying. Yeah,
like he's chilling with his sense most of the time. And then when he reaches that particular point in the game where he knows now comes the big sense that everybody is weak to, he hits that extra hard, and you will be so not ready. That is his style of sending, for example. Now, in terms of the game flow, we could say it matters about who is sending into whom. So what is the position? And we see Dubs is sending into Woi. So you could think that is good for Dubs because he can put Woi under pressure. Dubs is a good pressure sender if he wants to also. But Chris, I would say, Chris is a much more aggressive sender than Woi, for example. Because Chris never stops the pressure. He might not be saving up, but his sends most of the time are dedicated. So you don't get so much time to breathe as a defender. And over time, what this does is it throws back your income more and more and more and more. Because he never lets you chill for a longer time. You can see it now in Dub's maze. Chris is bringing a really big send with the rod golems. This is like the boss tier 1 unit.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Just a lot of health, right? But
yeah, it's a single unit with a lot of health. but Glyph is the best tech at holding this particular unit.
Like Infernals or Rot Golems both like get countered by Lightning Beacon, right?
Yes, they both get countered by high single target damage, but you don't want the Lightning Beacon to hold the Rot Golems, that is like over-defending. Already the Shock Particles are extremely good against the Rot Golems.
Why are they typing RR in chat? What the fuck is
that? Means reroute. They type that when they rebuild their maze. And you know, there's like a gentleman's agreement that you do not juggle what you could do theoretically in this game. Now, I don't want to give the wrong ideas to the viewers, but what you could do is you open up one part, like you delete the tower really quick, and build it at a different part, and then the units, like their natural pathing goes as they would go, but all of a sudden they hit a wall where they didn't expect it, and then they just start walking around randomly, and then you can like juggle this back and forth, so to say.
Is there
and
like,
so,
it's obviously bannable, right?
Yes, this is banned. So when we see somebody obviously juggling, the game will stop. But these players don't juggle, don't worry.
No, for sure, I know, but it's just...
and so,
I forgot about that mechanic.
Yes. The thing is, sometimes you just have to rebuild your maze. And then it just naturally happens that, especially when you transition from the initial stage, the initial shape, into the second, then you rebuild the entire shape of your maze, so the units get confused. And then somebody writes reroute, and then what the sender has to do is basically just type one button, and then all of the movements from the units recalculate to adjust and they walk correctly again.
My god, that's like high level.
Yeah, and wait, now there's more to it. You can also type reroute.
Let's talk about the game. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Viewers are fucking
sense,
yawning at this point. You know what I mean? It's like, talk about anything else at this point, yeah?
So look at Chris's maze now.
Yeah.
Silver is trying to get the big sand in, and he stole only 1 life. But what really matters is that he got Chris down in income.
So he invested so much in his defenses, basically. That's what you're saying.
Also, his maze value went up. You can always see this. Also, going back to tier 1, when we saw Chris hitting a big sand into Dubs, this might have been good for the sense that Dubs has to upgrade a lot. But the thing is, those Rot Golems are not so income efficient. It's not so bad anymore either, but when you send a lot of them, you naturally don't get as much income as you would get from just spamming. So Chris might have gotten down a little bit from that.
But no matter what, if we're looking at the scoreboard, it's like very even.
Oh yeah, it's super
income
even.
Is the same, value is the same. Number of lives, I guess, differ to a certain degree, but I think it's normal.
You can see it's like the creme de la creme of the players playing here, because it's almost mirrored what they do. Silver is drawing quite ahead now, actually, in income when I say it. Look at Chris's maze. This is very relevant now, because Silver was etching out a tiny advantage early, which we didn't even notice, but he used it to save up now, when maybe even Chris didn't notice.
My
and now
god, the amount of spawning, dragon spawns.
Holy
shit,
now he is, and this is what Glyph is weak against. So Silver waited for the perfect moment, and then he safe-sended, so he held back his gold just 1 time. And then he hit Chris with the big dragon spawn sand. And now Chris is again losing just 1 life.
Every time.
Chris, but I mean, it's really good. But Chris had to up his maze value hard again, as it happened once with Chris already. So we can see the biggest discrepancy opening between Silver and Chris.
I love how you're saying that it's a big discrepancy, but it only stole like 1 life, so that's freaking hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the life, I'm talking about the income, where you see the discrepancy. But yeah, he always just steals 1 life. Of course, that's not big, but what he cares more about is getting his income down. Now, the reason why he's able to do this, I believe, is because Dubs is pressuring Void. Actually no, Void's maze value is still down. The reason why he's able to do is because Woi is being Woi. that means he's income spamming like MFer, you know what I mean? He's just spamming, and that is why his income is so high, because he never even tried to steal lives. He just tries to defend extremely efficiently and get an income advantage.
That's true, you're right. Wii is very good at defending. I've noticed that. He's gonna use as much value as possible to defend as many lives. Like he does not like just lose lives at all.
Yeah, he does not lose lives, and also he does not really over defend. He, you know, like the wizard, he doesn't defend too much or too little, just exactly as much as he needs to.
Wii is the wise man, right? With the beard.
You can say. And also now the Banshee stage is coming up, so now we have to watch out. For example, okay, now Chris didn't, but this is where I expect Voi to eventually start bringing a big Banshee send into Silver. Like all of them, you have to watch where are they saving up income now. And Dubs is definitely saving up now. So he held his income once, and you can see almost 0 units in Voi's maze. But 1 unit you see, or you don't see, which is the Satire Shadow Dancer. Oh yeah, also the tanks, but the tanks are just to draw away the aggro from the units in front. So they don't hit the air send. And so now Dubs brought a huge safe send of Banshees into Voi.
That's a lot.
And Voi's response is to just up masses of Glyph. Now you can see Voi is up in mace value a lot. And the cool thing about Voi's style is he's not even really down in income.
Which
because
is crazy.
He was just crazy spamming up until that point.
That's just weird.
So that means that even because he does not have to, even if he has to upgrade his mace massively now, he's still not down in income so much. And so now he has more income than Dubs and more base value than Dubs.
It can be good to save, but I feel like you risk this unless you're very consistent at sending.
He has a bit less lives though. Yeah, he has a bit less lives though. He has to watch that, because once Dubs wants to become really evil, eventually Voi might get in trouble. But this would only or mostly happen on weaker techs, because they both got one of the best techs, like Glyph I would say is number 2 tech. Because they have this as a choice, most of them will be able to hold most of every send up until sudden death. But I really hope in the final game, the next one, which is the final of the final, we will see not such OP techs to choose from, because then it will be mayhem, because even the best players will leak at some stages, because there is simply no way to hold if you know how to send correctly. But with Glyph it's not so much the case.
Like either if it's like I agree what you're saying, like you play like maybe subpar text, but at the same time it's fun to see the best players play the best tech as well. Like
definitely.
It forces them to go to late game and whatnot, so that we get to see.
Yeah, you see the sudden death.
Yeah, we see the sudden death. Maybe, but like you said, if they play worse elementals, then for sure some of these players might have been eliminated, but who knows?
Yeah, some will drop earlier. For example, there is the Earth Tech, which has no native anti-air tower, and there if you hit the big Banshee saves, it used to be like, well, best thing I can do is leak all of them, hope I survive, and stack all of mine on top for the next guy.
Oh, okay. So you basically send your own airwave. So a good defense is a good offense, basically, type shit.
Yes. And even in the way that you leak all of them and then stack your own on top behind. Now we see big Crypt Fiend leaks from Chris. So Silver's offense is now starting to pay off. He waited for the next window where he is really good at sending, because Glyph Tech has a weakness against the Crypt Fiend. So because Crypt Fiend is also the unit that gets targeted last. And if you have a lot of bulk units in there, yes, if you have a lot of, unless you manually target your towers to them. So this is where micro matters in this game. So when you have a lot of bulk sends, the Crypt Fiends might sneak through. Now look into Dubs' maze. He is eating the big Spirit Walker send from Chris.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So he's now losing 20 lives. which puts Dubs under heavy pressure to make something happen. And Voi has only wisps in the front. So you might think that you can attack Voi now, but this is bait actually, because his front is already 4 lines deep, so yeah, he's still gonna hold if you attack it. You're just gonna lose out the income.
Shrooms are super good, they just... Why they're really good versus tanks, by the way?
They're not good versus tanks at all. They just are 10k already, so they have a lot of lives. But what has to do the damage is the tower behind the shrooms. And how you say, the glyph has a huge range. So when he sends tanks, even from the back, the glyphs will still shoot onto the tanks.
Yeah,
and the shrooms just tank it. Now look into Chris's maze. There are some more spiders at the end, and Silver has to manually target those now or they will leak. And he's not targeting them, so Chris is leaking again. And the next ones he might actually hold, because there is no more otter units that just take the skittering. Oh, yeah, he just got it.
Why does he have ultimate manglers? Why is that? Is it slow?
Where are they?
In Chris's maze.
So the mangler, I'm a big fan of it actually, especially when you have frost natively. They have many purposes. So they don't slow, but they have very, very high splash damage and very high damage just. And ideally, you want them in spots where they hit at least 3 times. But counterintuitively, those ogre manglers are also good against air. They basically clap the banshees out of the sky when they hit them nicely. So when the big banshee wave comes, the ultimate manglers are not so bad. Now we see Chris leaking more and more Crypt Fiends, because they are still, all of the glyphs are not targeting them. So Silver is doing a good job. Like Crypt Fiends
Chris,
is...
Bro, that's so many Crypt Fiends coming in. That's gonna be difficult. He's gonna
and
be fine.
Chris himself, look what he does to Dubs. He saved up the ultimate gigantic save with the abominations and sending it all into Dubs. So Dubs is under big pressure himself now, and he's leaking all of those A-bombs. Is that GG for Dubs? I don't think, but he's on single-digit lives now.
No fucking way. That's rank 2 going down to 8 HP.
Yeah. And you know who's profiting the most from this?
Oui.
Yeah, definitely. Because Dubs, you could think he's now under big pressure to make something happen. But the game is already at such a stage where Voi is like, well, good luck trying to make something happen. But he has to. So once the early tier 4 units unlock, which is the statues and the Kodo, I can absolutely assure you, Dubs, look at his gold. He's saving up 4.4 million gold. So Dubs will bring the biggest Hail Mary send into Voi now. But Voi, being Voi, is one of the best at holding these. And do you see? Now the send starts from Dubs. He opens it up.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he just brings one gigantic Spirit Walker wave with the War Beast, which is the tier 4 aura unit. They give the ultimate armor and the ultimate speed aura. But Voi is pretty ready. He upped his mace value instantly to 10k. He covered everything with Glyph, so it has with Lich, so it has max slow, and he has a big combination of Glyph and Scorpion, which are prime damage dealer.
There's no way he defends every single one.
No. He's gonna leak some, but he's not gonna leak a lot. Well, he leaked 10. But at the end of the day, now the big Spirit Walker wave actually...
Dubs is, oh my god.
Yes, now Dubs is eating the same scent that he just gave Voi, but Chris augmented it with some more tier 3 units that came first into the maze. So I think this scent from Chris into Dubs is gonna do a lot better.
Yeah, because there's a lot of ground units taking the aggro, so he needs to micro a little bit.
The thing is, Dubs micros like a god. So you can actually see him snipe all of those. Yeah, he's sniping literally all of those Spirit Walkers out of the way. Okay, leaking 2. But man, I can tell you, Dubs was sweating bullets at this point.
Jesus
because he might have just died there. When I just looked at his mace with the send into it, I thought this might be over for him. But he had so many glyph and he targeted them like a madman. Like his APM is quite high, that he got all out of it. But ooh, this was close. So going into sudden death, let me tell you, Dobbs has the strongest sudden death from all of them, stronger than Voice, because his maze shape is a bit more ideal for the end game send, and also his sending pattern is just top notch. But Voi is better at creating a good situation going into sudden death, which is exactly what we're seeing here. But we're talking about Dobbs and Voi here, where in reality the most lives are from Silver and from Chris. So Silver pressured Chris hard, stealing lives from him, and Chris in turn pressured Dobbs hard, stealing lives from him. And Voi focuses only on defending. I did not see one huge send from Voi, and even if he did, I'm pretty sure at some point he did and we didn't catch it. But the point is, Silver is great at defending, and he is a bit running away with the game. Look at how high his income is compared to Chris. Chris might have high lives, but he doesn't have high income. And what I think will happen is we are 1 minute away from sudden death, and Silver wants to get his maze just ready enough that it's not terrible at sudden death, but not completely done. And then he wants to make sure.
What happened?
Dobbs, I assume he ate another. Oh, he ate the big worm wave, of course. So Chris was saving up big for the worms, and those are at this stage of the game almost.
That's
impossible.
incredible. Rank 2 goes away, and I really liked his maze shape, by the way. That was a very nice maze shape.
Yes, but Chris played it really well. He got Dobbs low, and he knew this is my time. So he saved up before sudden death to the worms, and basically Chris is not playing for the win, because the worms give 0 income. You can see Chris is significantly behind in income. This might be Silver's game to win now, because as soon as Silver hits 4 million, he will now start saving up his gold and make sure that he has like the minimal maze that is really good though, and then he wants to be the first guy to bring the actual sudden death send. And then Chris, who is nowhere near from ready, when you look at the back of his maze, he needs all of these technology discs in which he doesn't. All of these glyphs need to be transformed. All of these crystals need to be transformed. All of these lich need to be transformed. So Chris was all about getting Dobbs out, which he managed, and now maybe be the first one to hit a hard send on Voi. But Silver is now extremely early in getting the Shredder send in, and Voi does the same thing. So Voi's Shredder send is actually even further than Silver's.
I think it's,
but unlike
she's the strongest Shredder sender, correct? Among
he's definitely top 3, I would say, Voi's Shredder send. I think Voi is very, very good in navigating through the game into sudden death, and also in getting clutch victories out of situations where you think he already lost. But baseline, I don't think he has. Oh yeah, he's stealing big time. But you know who's also stealing big time? Silver from Chris. So this will come down to.
That's a lot of units coming in. Oof, that's gonna be. So many lives traded. Wui's just chilling, no? Look at Wui's just chilling.
Well, he was focusing very much on his send into Silver, which was the right thing. He never tried to steal lives throughout all of the game, you noticed that? And then, right at sudden death, he made sure that he is so ready when Silver is not yet ready, because Silver also wanted to get an early send in. And so because of that, Voi stole an absolute ton of lives from Silver right at sudden deaths, which was the right decision. But there is one thing about Voi that is absolutely bad, and that is when you look at the back of his maze, he was not able to charge up his trappers fully. So the Beastmasters are not ideal yet. He can only transform those into Beastmasters once they have full mana.
Okay. So and they generate mana by attacking, is that correct?
By attacking, yes. Yeah, and the 10k, the 10k generated much better than the 30k, so he wants to keep them 10k. But the problem is, now he doesn't have the Beastmasters, which are absolutely crucial in his maze for the final
for
send.
The CC, right? So the Beastmasters with the lizards, they connect in between each other and they stun in a line. Is that how it works?
That is right, yes. Correct. The Beastmasters shoot out those war beasts or Kodos always to the furthest away, unless you set the target manually. Max range is 1200 if they have so much mana. You can see, depending on how much mana they have, that determines the max range they can shoot the Kodo out.
Oh,
and then the Kodo, now Chris actually stole not so many lives from Woi. That is because A, his scent was not ideal, and B, he chose the wrong scent. He went for the small shredder big worm scent.
Oh my god.
And that is, he's almost dying.
Lives.
Yeah. Silver just stolen an insane amount from Chris. So it keeps being between Silver and Woi. And with Woi, I mean with Chris, he brought the small shredder scent. And the problem is, Beastmasters, they are good against shredders. They are not good against worms. So if Chris wanted to exploit that, but of course we have vision of everything here. Chris did not see that the Beastmasters were not charged in the back from Woi, so he assumed they were. And that means he brought a small shredder scent just to survive, because Chris is not playing for the victory, he's playing for second. But if he had brought the actual big shredder scent there, he would have stolen big time from Woi. Instead he brought the small shredder scent with the big worms on top and stole almost nothing.
Yeah, but now it's pretty much over. The shredders are coming into the end.
Yeah, he's down to
maze of Chris.
Now this is the point where Silver will start complaining, because he has such a gigantic scent. He's actually a bit lucky because Chris stole some lives. But the thing is, Silver has such a gigantic scent that he would have stolen at least 25 more lives from Chris. But since he's dead, he's not stealing anymore, and his whole scent just disappears.
Whereas should go to the second player, no? Shouldn't it? I feel like
there's reasons for and against that. In that season, they said no, it's not. And so now what you see is Woi. He is now stealing an insane amount of lives from Silver again, and Silver scent, because it disappeared, he has to start over again. But now there is one interesting thing.
Yeah, but that's such a disadvantage for the sender, because all that value is lost, no? He spent so much value.
That is right. But you know what happened in the last patch? Should I tell you? When the final scent, usually all of the scents leak. But the final scent at sudden death, they don't leak anymore. And the reason for that is, players used to abuse the rhythm so hard, in the sense that, look, I know I'm going to leak. And I know I'm going to leak big time on the final scent. So I will leak 50 shredders into my own receiver's maze on purpose, so that I can stack my own perfect scent right on top, and even have 50 shredders as a cushion. And then the defender of that scent is like, well, nothing I can do, minus 100.
Well, maybe then just the portion, for example. Maybe sudden death would be only, I don't know, 25%.
Or yes, exactly. Or you could make it that units that leak get a certain debuff or whatever. Something like that. Okay, GG. So Woi took it, and really,
what a game.
The main